I always forget either that or this. About one. Two. Number two. Okay. All right, good to go. All right, perfect. So yeah, as Bill said, size 2 hook, Mustad 34007. A recent video I saw where Sam tied an upgraded that he's calling a 2.0 version of this, uses a size 2 tarpon hook, so slightly different gap, but same general concept. And his 2.0, the only thing he's really going to change from what we did tonight is he has kind of a craft fur brush body to make it a little thicker, bushier fly. So that could be something you guys can try as well down the road with this. It sounds like they've used both with success. This is just the original version that they put out. So to start out, we'll go ahead and we'll build a thread base, the length of our shank. And once we lay that down, we'll return the thread to about a eye length behind the eye of the hook. Pink or red? I'm using orange thread. You can use orange or pink, or honestly, you know, black, gray, whatever you wish is probably fine. I use orange as the thread can kind of provide a little bit of an extra hot spot near the front of the fly for you, as the thread head will be exposed at the end. So build that thread base, flip the excess, and I'm just going to go ahead and wrap back forward to about an eye length behind the eye. All right, we're ready to jump on to the next step. So next we'll go ahead and grab those dumbbell eyes, and we're gonna lay them down over the top of our shank, about an eye length back where we have our thread, and we're gonna secure that with cross wraps. So pretty much gonna make a bunch of figure 8 wraps back and forth between the eyes.
Chris, this is a medium double pupil.
Okay, medium double pupil, thank you.
And of course, marsh.
Yep. So I've tied a couple of these up in my box for a little deeper water in the marsh, or for the surf as well, that I went as high as the XL eyes, but I think medium probably fits this hook pretty well. So I do not have any with me, but once you've got your cross wraps in place and you feel this is secure, you can go ahead and put a dab of cement, super glue, whatever you use to secure your eyes if you want. It'll go ahead and avoid any twisting in the future after fish hit it if you do that. Another thing you should consider leading down the road, Bill, is maybe the mono base concept that Alan Rupp always talks a lot, Whitlocks. Have you done that before?
Oh, with the flattened?
Yeah, making the flattened kind of shank with that.
Yeah.
Apparently that'll make a fly last exponentially longer, but it's going to take somebody with more skill than me.
Flat spot puts mono
on each side, and you kind of build a flat base to build your fly on, so it prevents that twisting that we sometimes get when we're dealing with lead eyes and materials. All right, so once we have those eyes secured, we'll go ahead and wrap our thread back to roughly over the hook point, and we're going to go ahead and mine blew away, so I'm going to get up and go grab. Oh no, here it is. It's mixed in my other stuff. We're going to grab some of our laser dub. So we're going to pull out just a small clump from this. I've tied this bushier on some flies, not as bushy on others, but any type of dubbing will do. You could use some ice dub if you want something a little flashier. But we're going to go ahead, take a small clump, say something in that size range, and we're going to tie it in on top of the shank. I just usually do it at about the halfway point. So we'll go ahead, secure that down with a couple of wraps. And then if you want it, you can either trim off the front half, or if you want it thicker, go ahead and pull that forward facing fiber back and secure that as well on top of the original tail portion. This one's a little longer than I probably wanted, but I'd say aim for anywhere from half to 1 shank length for the length of the material coming off of the bend. So once we have that secured in, we can go ahead and take one of the pieces of our Krystal flash and we'll go ahead, fold that in half and we can cut it in half. We really only need about half of one of those full length strands for this. And this will just be some antenna, some flash that's going to be trailing off the back of our fly. So we'll go ahead, same thing, kind of line it up on the near side of the hook with its midpoint, say roughly at the base of that tail we formed. And we'll go ahead and wrap and secure that down with our thread. Once we've got that secured in, we can pull that forward facing piece down on the far side of the hook and repeat that process and just use the tail to kind of separate the two. So, and then once you have that, you can trim them to equal length. I would stick to no more than 2 shank lengths probably for the length of this material. You don't want fish striking too far behind your hook as you go.
Yeah, this one on your side, Chris.
I do not. It's on the to-do list for the winter. I haven't put a single step-by-step up in 13, 14 months now, so I'm a little overdue for that. But the goal is to start that again in January, time and work allowing. All right, so after that, we're just going to repeat the same process we just did with one of our rubber legs. So go ahead. I think you have either 3 or 4 in a bunch. Just peel one of those off. And we'll go ahead and tie it in at its midpoint, roughly at the base of the tail. Go ahead and pull that forward facing piece back on the far side and secure that as well. So if you find the material is kind of splaying out on you and not falling like it is in this case, it's probably just that you're pulling those initial wraps a little too tight. So you may just want to unwrap a little bit and I guess lay down looser wraps to start laying it in. All right.
Do that on the next.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
These ought to be.
So these, I would say length of these legs is up to you. I like to trim them a little bit shorter than the Krystal flash. But again, that's just how I've tied it. If you have preference in your saltwater flies to have a little longer legs on it, I don't think it makes a huge difference. It works out well in this case, though. You get a little bit of that contrasting color at the tip of each leg if you trim it just a little bit shorter. All right. So once we have those laid in,
Legs ought to be
just
below the,
a little shorter than the flash is usually how I tie in the rubber legs. So when you measure them out, maybe half an inch short or something like that.
I mean, their position.
They should just be draping back off of, on either side of the tail. All right. All right. How's everybody doing with the legs? Good to go. All right. So once we have the legs in, we'll go ahead and we'll grab our Estaz or our Krystal flash, or again, Sam has begun doing these with kind of a craft fur brush to make a thicker body if he wants a little larger profile in the water. And we should be able to cut the piece we have in half and have enough for 2. So we can go ahead, fold it in half, and we'll just kind of clip it at the midsection, and we'll save half of that for later. And then we'll go ahead and just secure that right at the base of the tail, and then we can wrap our thread forward to the rear of those dumbbell eyes.
You just wrap one end of it?
Yep, just one end, and then we're going to palmer this forward around the shank of the hook. So,
Take the thread of the eye, back of the eyes.
yep, thread to the back of the eyes, or if you want to, you can wrap it in front of the eyes just to keep it out of your way. But when we wrap this forward, we'll be securing it behind the eyes. So once you have it secured and threads forward, go ahead and just start palmering that chenille forward with the Estaz forward with touching wraps. All the way to the rear of the eye. Rear of the dumbbell eyes, sorry, not rear of the hook eye.
Pull it back as you're wrapping it?
I do. I mean, it's going to be messy either way. I think that's just habit to,
Yeah. That's just double.
yeah, just to keep it kind of, it helps me see where I'm wrapping when I do that.
That up behind the eyes.
Yep, and then we'll secure it right behind the eyes.
Clip off.
Yep, and then clip off any extra.
And don't cut Shalana. Right.
Oh, don't worry, I one-upped you. I stabbed myself with a hook.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's how you get those red highlights.
yeah.
Yeah. Bleeding venom, right?
Exactly.
That's cheating, sending your flies. That's not.
And baby.
And then, yeah, if you have any excess, you can trim it. I have a tiny nub. That's about it. All right. Okay, so once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and we'll take our rabbit strip and we're just going to cut it roughly in half. So part the hair so that you can get to the hide portion without losing a bunch of the hair, and just go ahead and clip it.
Look at half.
Yep, clip it in roughly in half. Yep.
Yeah, pretty close to, like, pretty close to half.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be too much extra.
So once we've done that, we can go ahead, we'll rotate our hook in our vise. Or flip it if you don't have a rotary, either way. And we're going to go ahead and kind of measure out where we want this. So to me, I want this tail extending kind of roughly to where my legs end. So I'll say something in that range. At this point, you can either puncture the hide with the point of your hook, or I will often just clip a hole with the scissors to make it easier. But we want to add the actual strip to the hook. So we'll puncture it, take it out of the vise, and slide it on past the bend.
So you went halfway through?
So I measured out to the point where the tail was roughly the length of my legs.
Okay.
And then
Yeah. Backwards. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, yes, and make sure the hair is moving backwards. Thank you, Jim, for pointing out the. Yeah, yes, that's an important thing with rabbit fur. These strips have a natural direction to the hair. We want the hair flowing back in this case.
So you get your length, and then so you obviously have some length on the opposite side coming through the hook.
Correct, yes. So you want to have it, sorry, yes, you want it to be somewhere towards the midsection.
Okay, so this is a bit longer than the tail that's
Okay.
on there now.
If you extend all the way to the eye of the hook.
No.
Just gotta punch it and then.
Is this ultimately gonna be the longest part of the fly?
Correct, yes, yep, correct, yep.
If it's as long as the legs are, then it's gonna.
Yep, so it should extend to kind of where the legs are roughly, yes. But you should have enough hide reaching forward to secure it to the shank as well.
All right, so it's.
Yeah.
The way you have it turned upside down.
I had it.
Yes. So you're gonna puncture, yeah, so you want to puncture the hide of that rabbit strip right onto your hook point. So you can take it out of the vise and do it by hand once you've measured. Or you can.
With the leather side towards the hook.
Leather side should be facing down towards the hook, yes, yep, fur should be up, correct.
So what is the length beyond the eyes there?
Yeah, so you want to have it extending to where you're able to tie it down on the front of the fly, but then you want a tail that extends to roughly the length of your rubber legs.
Okay.
And once you've punctured it onto the hook, you can go ahead and just put it back in the vise.
Pull it down the hook.
So you want to slide it just past the bend of your hook, yes.
I see what you're talking about. High up there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yep, and again, you can also clip with your scissors if that's easier, make a little slit. If you do that though, it's more likely to do what this fly was doing previously. I had to actually punch it because I cut too wide of a hole and it kept popping off.
Hey. I'm gonna myself. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Yeah, it's fine.
Yep, I promise you that's the most complicated part of the whole thing. We've only really got about a step or two to go. All right. How are we doing?
All right. Cut off the short section.
Yeah, so once you've got it onto the hook and the hook back in the vise, wrap your thread to right in front of those dumbbell eyes. And we're gonna go ahead, pull the thread or pull your rabbit strip slightly taut, just kind of fully stretched forward. Part the hair. And then we're going to secure the strip to the shank right in front of the eyes. So just do a couple of wraps to secure. And then I would go ahead and lift up that rabbit strip. And anything ahead of your wrap down point, you can go and trim off.
Tie down in front of the eyes?
Yep, just in front of the eyes. And just trim it off in front of there. So secured right there. And then the only thing we'll have to do once we've done that is just build a thread head to cover up everything right behind the hook eye.
Where'd you cut off the leather?
Right ahead of where I wrapped down, so. So if you make it too long, you could trim like a little of the tail off too, if you think it's longer than you want.
I don't know what I was.
Well, as long as the fish know, right?
My fish aren't pretty good.
I've caught enough different types of fish in my life to attest that they are not that picky. Except for the one you really want to catch.
Watched a video today, and this guy kind flies and sells flies, and I forget which one it was on YouTube, but he was making that point about this really isn't that important, but when you're selling flies, the customer wants them to be pretty.
Exactly, yes. Yep. As long as they swim straight and they don't fall apart every fish, that's really what matters.
Yellow fish.
Yeah, the fish are not picky. Some of the simplest flies will catch plenty of fish.
Cat said, I noticed in his post on the site, when he goes along.
Oh, he has before on this one? Okay.
I'd say you do it red ground.
Yeah, I could definitely turn this into a crawfish pattern. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the flies that catch fish for us are usually the one we use the most often. I think Alan Rupp was asking the other day what people's most successful pattern was. My answer is a clouser. I've caught more species on that than any other, but only because I've tied clousers from size 12 to size 4/0 and thrown them in everything that swims. So yeah, I think I'm at 40 species on the clouser at this point. Oh, but that just shows how often I throw a clouser.
It's where you got confidence in.
Okay.
What's that?
Where you have confidence in.
Yeah, exactly. But no chartreuse after September from what I've heard. August, oh, sorry, I'm
Oh, that's what.
Everyone expects that we had to sell it. No one's supposed to be eating this.
all right. So once we've got that secured, built up a nice thick thread head, you can go ahead and whip finish. I would recommend putting on some UV resin if you have it. And I mean, when you're fishing oyster beds and things like that, anything that protects those threads is going to save you a lot of hassle down the road.
Oh, I was hoping you could get.
We were already telling them that they use it.
That's beautiful.
See, I did get.
I'm picking it. What about the leg?
I hadn't seen your Susan.
Oh, I mean, like I said, you can trim the
Right, exactly.
Krystal flash to maybe 2 shank lengths, 2.5 shank lengths, and make the legs just a little shorter than that. But if you leave them longer, if that's what you like, that's not a problem.
2 shank lengths behind.
Well, 2 shank lengths extending from the bend if you want.
I got it.
That's up to you. I try to not do too long, just solely for I don't want short strikes. You give the fish too much behind the hook to bite and they may not find the hook. So the one thing with this fly you can do is if you want to finish up, you can kind of trim the bottom side of your Estaz flat just to help it ride a little flatter if you're worried about it not riding straight in the water.
So it rides hook point up.
Yes, it rides hook point up. Yes.
Gotcha.
Even flying right across the neck. Good point out.
How long the leg? Just try to see
The legs I would do a little shorter than your flash. Yeah. Well, then your flash. Yeah. And then your tail. So one thing that will make this easier, depending on the size you're tying, is using the standard zonker versus, I think this example I had. If you can see, it's got a much thicker hide section on it. So I think these are 1/8 inch versus 1/4 inch or the Magnum. It just gives you more material to work with. You're less likely to rip and tear your zonker strip trying to puncture it. But again, it's also a larger profile. So if you're tying these smaller, you probably don't want to go that route.
So where? We hope.
All right. You guys ready to do the second one? Like a couple of you are underway. All right. So, start off by building that. Ow. I'm going to kill myself with this hook tonight, apparently. Deeper in there. There we go. So start off building that thread base, length of the shank, and then we'll wrap forward to tie in those eyes. So secure the eyes, top of the shank with cross wraps. And I mentioned the Dave Whitlock mono base that Alan Rupp, who Bill and I know, has preached about for a long time. It is worth learning. I mean, his flies are nearly indestructible. He will tie a clouser, and between using the correct adhesives and building that mono base so it will not twist, his clients will catch 100 peacock bass on a clouser before it's destroyed.
So it's just a matter of two pieces of mono, one on each side of the hook.
Yeah, effectively, you kind of, yeah, you make a wide flat base that helps secure the materials more evenly. Things don't twist. Your tie down points tend to be more secure. I think
It takes a flat needle nose wire and squeezes the middle of the eye between the eyes and flattens the lid. So it makes it flat. So
Yep.
you put flat on flat, they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's managed as a hook and.
Yeah.
well, the
No, the hook has a piece of mono down the side of it.
yeah. So you build a mono platform.
3 pieces of material, then it flattens the hook. And it flattens the middle of the eye.
So the mono's just along the
On each side of the shank.
just on the
Yep.
side of the shank.
Wider.
Yep. So he'll kind of abrade the hook a little bit with a file. He'll build a thread base, put a piece of mono on each side, secure that with thread. He'll use a little bit of an adhesive to hold it down. Once that dries, then he builds his fly. He does it with a lot of fly patterns, but clousers are one that I know he can make near indestructible doing that.
So he roughs the metal up.
Yep.
Hook with a file.
Yep. He'll rough the metal up a little bit to help too. All right. So, yep. So once we got our eyes in, we can go ahead and secure our tail in at the bend. Again, if you want a thicker tail, pull that forward facing portion back. And you should have a tail that's maybe a shank length. I think I tied mine a little longer than I wanted both times, but I don't think it's a horrible issue. If you really want to, you can always clip it shorter with scissors. Won't be as nicely tapered, but I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt you to do that.
That is the hook point is going to.
From the bend. Yep. Yep. So it's extending from the bend. So once we have that secured, we're going to go ahead and take our Krystal flash and use that to make antennas again. So same as last time, we'll start on the near side of the hook, secure that Krystal flash with a couple of wraps up the shank. Go ahead and take the forward facing piece and repeat the process, securing it down the far side of the shank.
What I would do with next time is I'll figure out. You get trying to fix that and operate longer.
Go ahead and repeat that process with our rubber legs as well, starting by splitting it in half, securing the rear facing half on the near side of the shank. And then pulling the forward facing section back and securing it to the far side of the shank.
That's right, no good deed goes unpunished.
And again, the length is up to you guys, but I tend to go a little bit shorter than my flash with this.
Well, you cut the legs in there, just all.
I am, just to keep it out of the way, but you can always wait to the end if you'd rather. You know, measure twice, cut once, do it the right way.
We like the boss does.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then from there, we'll go ahead and tie in the chenille at the base of the tail and wrap that thread forward to get it out of the way. And we can go ahead and once you have it secured, do touching wraps forward to build the body of your fly. Go ahead and we'll trim off any excess once we've secured that chenille at the rear of the dumbbell eyes. All right.
Above average, you know, good, I don't know.
Right. And then once you have that secured,
It is one I can.
go ahead and wrap your thread ahead of those eyes, pop the hook out of the vise, and we can go ahead and add that anchor strip right to it. So again, measure to roughly maybe the length of the legs coming off the back, but you want enough of the hide extending forward that we'll be able to secure it at the, right behind the eye of the hook. So. And here's the hide.
Okay, let's. We got it under control.
Yeah. I knew it would be perfect. That'd be all right. You know, I'll be able to.
So once you pierce the hide, back in the vise, point up.
See, standing this way.
Hook point up and go ahead, pull that. Pull that taut part the fur and go ahead and secure it right behind the eye of the hook. In my case, I think I actually botched this one and need to readjust the position I put that hole in. Not give myself enough to work with at the front of the hook.
That's too far forward.
Yeah.
Makes it better, just do a bigger head.
Hold your tippet in the eye better that way when you got stuff in the eye.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so try that again.
There's some good colors, I like it. Yeah,
Try to tie it back as close to the eyes. That's the key.
All right, so now that I have enough to work with, we will part the fur right above our tie-in point. And we will secure the zonker hide right behind the eye of the hook with a couple of wraps.
This color.
And go ahead and trim off anything in front of that tie down point, and then we'll build up that thread head.
That's fine. Yeah. I need it.
Yeah. Here. Single strip.
You said over medium eyes?
Yes. Medium eyes, and the rabbit strip is,
That's a regular, isn't it?
yes, regular rabbit strip. Estaz is standard Estaz. And again, this is all on the YouTube.
Oh,
The,
I just thought the eyes, I wasn't sure what it was.
All right.
the legs are shrimp blue barred clear.
Shrimp blue, what?
Barred clear, rootbear Estaz. And I don't have, the rabbit fur is like black barred, baby blue or something like that. It's on the YouTube. And then gold crystal flash.
I wish Rich was here. Chris did have it.
I always do half hitches. I
Yeah,
am,
Rich, happy. They see somebody happy.
I mean, I have been tying flies for 35 years and I still cannot whip finish to save my life. I know I'll get shunned for it, but I've gotten this far.
I'm telling Jeff, and that's what something else that I really like.
Using that first. How much you need?
It's about
Just in
when
front,
you cut,
right off here.
however you want to do it. They don't have as much fun for it.
I mean, you gonna go catch something on that now, Mike? You gonna go catch something on that now?
I went to the work.
All right, I guess somebody has to. I don't have time to fish anymore.
My cousin, now knows what I do. And I do it,
I've never seen a fish really.
But you gotta be close.
Oh. Little UV red will solve that. Or yeah, artist nails will work too.
Yeah, that's.
Don't do that.
So when all this, at least, Duggan came out, got my, Chris, was that other color, was, black and.
That's black and purple Estaz is the other one, yeah.
You know, all these legs that I found, you know, we always like that hot end on them.
Mhm.
If you don't watch it, you end up, you don't have.
Yeah.
Well, they make a pin, they dye bass worms with
Mhm.
and chartreuse and tints.
Oh, so you can actually make the hot spots.
Spots on the end of it.
That's a good way to do it.
And they have sand with them, you don't have to sand, I mean.
Sure.
They have chartreuse, I know they have, I think they have a reed.
Okay.
And then you can always just dress it up if you want to, if you cut it too short.
Yeah, that's a good trick to have. How did yours turn out, Peter?
Oh, really good. I really like this fly. Thanks so much for teaching me.
Good. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what it works on up there. I know it's not exactly the season right now, but
Great fly.
I mean, there's got to be some holdover striper up there somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm not much of a saltwater fisherman, but I've caught a few.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna have to invest in I guess a 9-weight rod.
Hey, Peter, if they still have any Sierra trading posts, I bought a 10-weight TFO Axiom 2X for $199.
You said a 10-weight?
Yeah, for the gar fishing we're doing here.
Oh yeah, I saw the one that Jim caught, that humongous fish.
But they had some 8 weights and 9 weights and 10 weights, so for like $200.
That gets you well on your way to
And
saltwater.
that's like a $500 rod. And
Wait, who was selling it?
Sierra Trading Post.
Sierra Trading Post. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yep, they kind of get overstock runs, and so it may be cheaper than that when you see it, or it may be $15 or $20 more than that, but it'll be around that price.
Nice.
I mean, the 10-weight worked fine.
Hey, Chris.
You
heard of anyone fishing tarpon?
Right.
I just want this.
I have not. I'm sure you could.
It's similar to some of the tarpon
Yeah,
flies. I guess you sized up and maybe it's a bit bigger.
I think the eyes are a little heavier than a lot of those flies, but yeah, if you were to go with maybe some either bead chain on the eyes, or I mean a large enough rabbit strip could probably keep these eyes floating either way. But yeah, that definitely could work as kind of a tarpon bunny style fly.
What you talking about, somebody who modified them a little bit, you still.
Oh no, I was saying the Sam who tied this for Space Coast has modified a bushier body on it in general, not specifically for tarpon. He's mainly looking at pompano and redfish. Yeah.
Whatever the brown.
But again,
The D or whatever.
I'm sure tarpon will take it. I wouldn't be surprised. I was gonna say, I can't say I've caught enough tarpon in my life to determine which flies work best for them, so.
I've catched about 4 tarpon and none of them, so I have no experience.
I've landed one. That's all I've got to my name to boat, or well, to shore.
Okay, y'all, if you want to get some material, I mean, don't get all of it at once, but I mean, if you want to get enough for a few more flies, I'm not sure how much more we have up here, but because I cut up enough for 22, I think, so should be at least some rabbit strip left, and plenty of Krystal flash, a good bit of the Estaz here, legs, got plenty of legs, plenty of eyes, so go ahead and grab you a couple.
Where do you rabbit strip at that? I mean, that's the same thing that you bend it on.
Yeah, I'll have to look. I ordered everything from either Feathercraft, J Stalker.
Okay, that's fine.
Probably for trying.
This one,
Yeah, I had looked up all that.
on the bill got there, but Florida plastic.
Okay, on Florida.
Yeah.
But then it was white.
Tell you what it is.
I might have a pack in here.
Company must be bad.
You gotta
That's what I think is pretty. That was $15 going to start.
The legs are tiger barred rabbit strips. Black barred, blue line, navy blue.
Yep. I just found the pack. I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah, long name for it. So blue and black legs. I mean, rabbit strip. Hot tip legs, blue with pink tip.
So
And fluorescent blue laser gun. But it's on the YouTube.
now I got all these flies.
I don't even know where that picture came from.
That's the original one I tied up.
You tied it.
Yeah, that was the original one before I took some pictures of this one. But again, this is with the Magnum strip, and I feel like the fur is more consistent than on these ones without. So I think that may be maybe one thing I'll focus on going forward. I only had this in the same size you found it.
Mine's shorter than this.
I mean, some of mine are shorter. I left these a little long. But again, I'm pretty sure you can trim back to whatever length you want.
Neon oxide, black and green collar, black tail.
Yeah.
I mean, that was deep flying over freshwater and white cats.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I caught 6 great bass and freshwater. I wouldn't catch any fish out there on fishing. Cat's whisker, they tried 3 legs, screwed up. Green tip legs. Yeah, first cast.
That's good.
I fished it's standard, chartreuse and ink down on surf. On those west pass there.
Yeah.
Jack, you know, like this, but I'm probably about 20.
What did you do today? No, I didn't go.
Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, how is that?
I like it. I got it a couple years ago. It's
Is that one that spins
Yeah.
freely if you?
yeah, if I loosen that up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Darren Lee has one of those. Yeah. It's some attachment for like building dubbing or something. He had something where he stretched out from the hook. He stretched the thread out and it was an attachment. He just
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because he had it horizontal.
Yeah. Put it horizontal. You can spin into it. Absolutely. Pleasure. Oh yeah, wrong hand there. But yeah, pleasure. Good to see you again. All right. Hope you heal up and get on the water soon. I said, hope you heal up and get back on the water soon. Yeah.
But he's already been on the water. He was on the water last week.
He just puts a rubber glove on.
Okay. There you go.
Keeps it clean.
So that's fall down, I don't get it wet.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you just need to get down to the salt and test those out. Might need to heal up before you throw in an 8-weight, but you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, gotta give up. You don't want to get period.
Yeah, hey, it's cold now. We're almost clear now.
Yeah, we're just.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Almost clear.
I still think, I'll tell you what, I still think like hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, I have that. Oh, yeah, I have the stuff that makes, you know, if you're gonna pour it on, you're gonna have a brown hand. That's the stuff you have to have.
Couple.
Yeah, betadine. That's the stuff that, I mean, the other stuff you buy at Walmart, it doesn't have it in it. It just says that.
Couple of years ago, end of November, I sliced the bottom of my toe pretty much down to the ligaments on oyster shell getting out of my kayak. It was tide change, so the combat launch, suddenly I could only get about 3-4 feet from shore. It was not as solid as I thought. And it was about 12 inches of loose muck with oysters at the bottom. I got out, rinsed my feet off on another spot where it was clean water. I heard sloshing. I'm like, why is I look down and it's just red coming out of my sandal. I'm like, oh, all I had was hand sanitizer in the car. I'm like, I just filled my hand with hand sanitizer and smacked it against the bottom.
Alcohol helps.
I got back, wasn't gonna go to the urgent care, had my wife clean it, wrap up my foot. And then about an hour later, I realized that the bandages were starting to tighten on my foot. I'm like, okay, you can take me to urgent care now. They went the full 9 yards, even though it was only about 40 degrees out.
Vibrio, whatever it is.
They didn't want to take a chance. They're like, it was an oyster, your foot swelling. And
Because they said it starts like within a few hours.
Yeah. So as soon as I'm like, oh, your foot's swelling, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do more than we probably need to, even though it's late November and it shouldn't be.
Yeah. I had a needlefish light me on the source. He was hooked. And
Take care, guys.
And he flipped around like a because I had teeth marks, so I it's just what I need. Fish bite. I know.
Nervous, but
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you,
It's fun. We got hands. Got to spend my birthday in the urgent care.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people said happy birthday to me that year.
There you
They're all
go.
looking at your record and they see the date. They're like, oh, happy birthday.
Oh,
That was nice.
yeah.
That was good, Chris.
Yes,
Appreciate it. Hopefully I can. Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. Telling Jim, I think I want to do Clauser's Mad Tom next year with you guys. I've tried that a few times. A few more steps on that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, about 7 steps, something like that. Fairly straightforward.
Well, the nice thing about it though is that each step is not an impossible step.
Correct. Yes, there's no.
You're not telling us to make a dubbing loop with, the beard hairs off of a rabbit or something like that. No.
I mean, look, if you do not have $10,000 worth of obscure animal pelt hidden in your, tying that, what are you really doing?
You're making do.
Well, come visit Bill and I at the Classic this year. We've got
The problem with the Classic is it's the first weekend in May. No, my problem is I have gotten looped in to managing a family graveyard. And they have a yearly graveyard working on that day. And they've had it every year that I've been alive on that day.
Okay, so you legitimately that weekend is.
Second.
Gosh.
Because I would love to go down there.
It's a busy season for a lot of people, I know. We can't do it any later.
And if I were to do the thing on Saturday at the graveyard, then I would drive all day Saturday. I get there at 9 o'clock Saturday night.
And then it opens. Yeah. That's the. You can come out Friday, drive home all night Friday and do the graveyard.
How about I can buy my cousin, my niece's husband a plane and he can fly with him.
There we go. That I like. Now you're thinking. It's a man with a
I
plan.
gotta win the lottery first.
I mean, has anybody won that jackpot yet? Didn't I hear the snip floating around?
Last time I checked, it was $900 million.
I mean, you can get a plane for that.
I can get a fleet. But I have a deal with him. If I win the lottery, he'll fly for me.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a great evening.
He is my niece, the OBGYN airline pilot host.
Okay.
So I told him, I said, you just fly for me.
Maybe she can buy the plane for him and then he can fly for him. Absolutely. Pleasure.
If I win the lottery, I can come out. She can retire. She'll never have to work.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So that's fair. You're right. Everybody wins then. So. Always a pleasure. Good seeing you.
Drive carefully.
Thank you.
You driving back tonight?
I am driving back tonight. I gotta help my wife's clinic tomorrow.
Be careful on I-49 at exit 40. Because right around between Funky and Hilltop is where the sheriff.
Oh, is that where they hang out these days? Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
It's not a road. And they don't have a tax base.
I've got a buddy who used to live in southern Arkansas and down in he was notorious for funding those small towns along the way.
You came through like Jonesville and Hodge or something in Hodge. Anyway, I'll just south of Ruston.
Yeah, one of his things was He got a ticket in the same spot, both directions on the trip. He was not really good at paying attention to those 55, 45, and 35. So same town, different town. Northern Louisiana.
The goal line, they started, one of them, like, exits and take the guy.
No, absolutely. Oh, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
My tail, dude. We got two of them. Oh, there it is. You got two of them? Yes, two.
My eight.
Pretty good.
Too bad. This one, the tire was pull the hook off and all the way down to the bottom. Or did you secure it there?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So it should sit more like this one, where the little. Both of you did that. Did it? And these ones, so it should be sitting more like that. So that one's good. So I fixed that one. This one you fold it too darn tight.
Yeah, that's what I did on the first one, because I didn't have enough.
Yeah, well, that's why I made a new puncture in my second one. That's good. You don't want to pull underneath or. Right. That might work for.
Yeah, it'd be more.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do surgery on it.
It should just be sitting a little, instead of being pulled all the way down, it should be sitting up.
That was bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the point is taut at the front. Yeah, you were kind of lunch money, exactly.
So it should be right at the top, that's right at the.
Yeah, it's kind of more towards the top of the bed.
Top, yeah, the top.
See, this was, you got space in there.
There's a little bit of space, but kind of pulls.
Okay.
Shoot, I'm sorry. And I think we were just talking to Bill. I think the strips, I like to look with that a little better, like these, because the hide is a little thicker. You get a little more care to work with it. Right, it gives you a little more coverage, a little more movement.